Good morning, everyone. So today I am Lungile Zamamkunu. So today on today's lesson, I will be teaching a lesson on possession, and the topic of the lesson that we'll be doing today is hlukanisa ngokusho ngomlomo phakathi kwemisindo ehlukene ikakhulukazi ekuqaleni kwamagama. So with this, it's a phonics and reading lesson. So with this lesson, we're talking about ungumnini, which is possessive nouns. So now we're gonna ask what is a possessive noun? So a possessive noun is a noun that it's a noun that has a relationship of being possessive in a broader sense, because the possessive nouns talk about it's all about me, that person. Ongumnini ongumnini kukhuluma ngokuthi yonke into engizokhuluma ngayo ngisuke ngikhuluma ngami. Ngisuke ngingakhulumi ngomunye umuntu. It's not on another person's perspective, but then on your own perspective. So with this lesson, with the introduction, starting off the lesson, it's starting off the lesson, it's always easier to have a mini dialogue with your learners. It's always easier ukuthi kube khona inkulumo ingxoxo eliba nayo, where in a sense with my lesson ukuthi I will ask learners to tell me about what they did over the weekend. By doing so, I am unintentionally and without them realizing that we're actually starting the lesson on possessive nouns, with them talking about what they did over the weekend, who they did it with. I'm basically picking up on the things that they did over the weekend, because when they start talking, maybe a learner will start talking that over the weekend ngihambile no mama wami saya estoro sathenga igroza yasendlini. Already ubumnini bukhona lapho, because uthi ngihambile nomama wami. Umama wami. So in that sense, the child is talking about themselves, not the friend or the other person. So by doing so, I'm eliciting the learner's prior knowledge. I'm making sure that the other learners actually are able to now raise their hands and start talking and also participate, because now we are having an open conversation. We are just talking. To them, it's just having a conversation. It's me as a teacher, like wanting to know what they did. But then on the other hand, as much as it would be interesting to hear what the learners have said, at the other hand, it's me actually picking up certain things that I can use when I'm actually introducing the lesson to them properly and explaining to them what is possession nouns, and like even in vernac in isiZulu buza ukuthi ubumnini buyini, and how, like ngichaza kanjani ukuthi ubumnini buyini, uyenza kanjani isentence yakhona, uyimisa kanjani, ubumnini bumakuphi nendawo kwisentence, uyabuthola yini la ngaphambili, uyabuthola phakathi nendawo komusho, uyawuthola yini ekugcineni. So with that, it's easier to explain it properly to learners so that they do understand what they are about to do. And with doing so and explaining what the possessive nouns and ubunini are, and then we move on to the body of the lesson. Now, with body lesson, this is where now, since I asked the learners to talk about what they did over the weekend, or the things that they did maybe over the holidays, because sometimes you need to um, not restrict them to something that they did over the weekend, because you find that some were not doing anything while others were doing something interesting over the weekend and others were doing something interesting over the holidays. So it's always nice to broaden their aspects and asking them, oh, Wuti, to talk about the things that they did, whether it's be over the weekend, um, over the holidays, or what will they do, like the future, what will they do over the holidays that are coming up. So with that, already I've collected the things that the learners have said, right? And with collecting the things that the learners have said, I now move on to the body of the lesson. Now with the body of the lesson, um obviously I need to discuss the key points and making sure that learners understand what possessive nouns is. So with that, how am I going to go about doing that? Since I've already started with asking them what they did, and they spoke and they spoke and they spoke, I will then go and then again explain what are possessive nouns, explain it in English, and also explain it in isiZulu, because um in is in it is learning both, understanding both languages it's very important, because even though the structure of the sentence might not be the same, because with the possessive nouns in English, a learner can start with my mother, so they already it's like mine. They can even say this is they can say my head hurts, or I have a stomach ache. So like it starts with an I, my. So that's where the possessive comes. With isiZulu, you find words like mina, wami, lami, sami. So with those words already I've picked up. So the learners will then now, pardon me, the learners will during the body, because I will be going over them, like, okay, over the weekend what did you guys see, and then obviously worth explaining, because obviously not every learner will get it, so it's not like it's a lesson that I will just have to rush through and expect every learner to understand. So with slowly but surely, like I will be explaining what is it. And also on the body, there's a song that the learners might see, and or a song that I might introduce to the learners. And with that song, it's a song ngesiZulu. It goes like isisu sami, ubuso bami. Like it's a song that it deal it focuses more on the possessiveness, because it says ikhanda lami leli, isandla sami lesi, sisu sami le, ubuso bami lobu. With them singing the song and saying isisu sami, because now it's like isisu sami, it's mine. And so they have to point, isisu sami, ubuso bami, isandla sami. And it's also good with the gross motor skills of the learners to understand the movement of them. And also having a lesson doesn't necessarily means that the learners have to be seated all the time, because learners in grade 1, their attention span is it's really small, so it's easier and makes more sense if learners when singing the song they stand up, because now we have to stand up and then you have to point. It's more like the song head, shoulders, knees and toes, but then now it's like the possessive part of the lesson now counts, because the learners will paint. Oh, they're talking about ikanda lam. Oh, okay, so what is ikand? Oh, my head. This is my head. Now you're pointing kanda lami leli, ubuso bami, isisu, izandla, certain things like that. So with that song, it makes it that much more easier for learners to actually understand and actually enjoy the lesson. But then again, you must also understand that the working memory of the learners is small. So it's like we don't want to swamp them with too much work, because right now this is only the introduction of what possessive nouns are, right? So with the introduction, obviously there's gonna be learners now coming up, like their minds now starting to pick up little by little, like, oh, they're talking about this. And then the learner can even ask, teacher, can I also say ekk le party or le birthday or okay, ikhekhe lami losuku lokuzalwa lami, already ikhekhe lami losuku lami lokuzalwa. Those are there are two possessive nouns already. And it's always good ukuthi when you are teaching a lesson, if you're teaching a lesson in isiZulu or in English, always make sure that you accommodate the learners. The learners need to be accommodated, because now you find that some learners can express better in isiZulu and other learners can express better in English. So it's best if that mindset is open, because these are kids, they are not grown-ups. So you need to understand that, listen, okay, I'm dealing with kids, I'm dealing with young ones, so I need to be open-minded with that. So with the body, obviously there's a song, and then examples of what are possessive nouns. So now with concluding the lesson, I would normally ask learners on their on their whiteboards, if they do have, or on a scribble book that we use in class for writing. I would ask them to make a sentence, a simple sentence, not something with many words, just a simple one where they write a sentence, because now I'm gauging their understanding. I want to see where they are with the understanding. I want to see where I need to emphasize the lesson on, and also where and which learners need help with the lesson, in order for me to be able to like throughout the week, I could be able to ensure that the learners understand, the learners they know what possessive nouns are, and not only possessive nouns, and also other nouns as well, because phonics is an continuous ongoing lesson. So it's best if you start them small, and you gradually introduce more things to them for them to understand.